Okay, there we go. All right, welcome everybody to a Saturday morning impromptu coffee and art in the morning. I'm Dede. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's a live show on Ustream.tv. Thanks everybody for being here. I've had some requests to finish projects that people want to see done, and I just don't have enough time during the week, even if I stream 6 hours on Monday, 6 hours on Wednesday, to finish a lot of things. So I thought I'd take a couple hours this morning to at least work on some things. So I'm going to work on in the Mythomorphia, and I'm going to work on the WereWolf that we were working on Wednesday and continue on with this. So I'm going to zoom in, but I wanted to show you what the cover of the book looked like here. Kerby Rosanes Mythomorphia, and he has announced that this will be his last Morphia color book. He did Anamorphia, Imagimorphia. He has some sketchbooks with his doodles in them, and this is the last one he said he's going to do in the series. So I'm not going to do a flip or anything because y'all have seen it, and I just want to dig right into coloring for a couple hours. So, okay, so if y'all have any questions, put them in caps. I'm going to zoom in and refocus. So give me a second here. I think that's probably good because I have to still move the book around as I color. And let's do the right line here. Maybe just a tad darker. There we go. Alrighty. I think that's good. So yeah, if y'all have any questions, just put them in caps. Alright, so we're going to pick up where we left off. Remember I have, let me find the picture. I think I still have it. Do I have it on my phone? I found a picture of a wolf that had all different colors of just different colors in it. And even though it doesn't show up on the phone, he looks almost gold. So I just kind of use those colors, and let me get them here, the Neo colors. So I'm using some Neo Color 2 water-soluble crayons from Caran d'Ache, and as a wash. And then I'm going back in there and coloring with these same shades, just a little darker to kind of, as you can see here, here, and there. And doing the shading with pencil. A couple things though is if you want to add gold like I did here, I tried to finish it as much as I could. Now I can probably dig in there with some pencil maybe if I need to, but you really want to do that gold. See where I put the gold there and on his arm? Because color pencils don't go over shine. They're not going to go over gloss or satin. Hey Claudia. So you want to do that gold, whatever kind of gold you're using. I'm just using some Americana metallic paint, acrylic paint, watered down. Just watered down a little bit. As long as it's still translucent and you can still see through it. Because the pencil's not going to go, you can't blend pencil over the shiny, glossy, or satin paints, and especially metallics. So, but there's the effect I want. I went ahead and went ahead of myself to do this to show last week in case I didn't get back to it very much. So, yeah. Hey, Trey. There's my garage door. Hubster's leaving. And then I started a little bit of a bat right here. Now you can't probably see it very much, but there's a little bit of pencil, light gray pencil on the bats, all the bats. And then I just went back and shaded one bat just to show you how they'll all look. So I'll probably work a little bit on the bats. The background is a base coat of acrylic paint, just plain old, reach over here, Americana Deco Art craft paint. That's the background. And then the red is a coat of yellow with red over it, just to make it a little brighter red. Um, so, yeah, so if you have any questions, just put them in caps and ask. Thanks, everybody, for being here on an impromptu Saturday. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just start with a couple of bats, I think. Let me see, I have some colors laid out because I'm working on so many projects. I have little bundles of pencils here and there. I think these are from another one, but let's see. Get a dark gray. And where's my light gray? Here we go. Which one of these grays do I want? I want the cool gray. These three grays. So I try to tell y'all the colors that I'm using here, but I don't always. So, but right now, right here, I have the warm gray 70%, warm gray 30%, and a cool gray 30%. And I really just go by the colors, you know, like kind of a light, medium, and dark gray. And then I also have this gray, which is cool gray 70%, which that's one of my favorites, that gray. So, and black and white for the little bats. Hey, Steffi. What else? It's another, and then here's a cool gray 20%. Just all kinds of, you know, light gray, medium gray, dark gray, so that you can shade the bats. And then again, I have a little bit of gray in his muzzle, and those are probably, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be the cool grays. The two cool grays here. But first I'm doing the wash on it. I guess I could go ahead and put the wash with the water brush and my Neo colors. The Neo colors that I'm using on the wolf, the werewolf, are pale yellow, olive brown, ochre, dark gray, and brown. And those are the colors that I'm doing washes over the top of the wolf fur. So I think I'm just going to continue that over his whole body. And it's really no particular order. Like here I wanted a little, and I just take my brush and go right to the tip of the water soluble, and they're Neo Color 2 water soluble crayons. They have to be the 2s. The number 1s, the Neo Color 1s, are just wax crayons and not water soluble. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here and add a little bit more and just kind of blend it around. Now the trick in color books, let me get a Kleenex to clean my brush as I change color. The trick to using anything water soluble in your color books is not to oversaturate. You got to dry in between, like just put a coat here. Now don't add any more to that till it's either dry or you hit it with a heat gun, because it's the water going through the book that goes through the book, not the color itself. Hey, Carrie Ann, anybody else, just chime in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over here with the ochre again. Now I've already got gold highlights right there, so I want to base coat this with ochre, because this is where I'm going to have a highlight on the front of his leg. And if it doesn't come off, if the crayon isn't giving you enough concentrated color, you can always just take any kind of tin or porcelain tray and just color some off, and then pick it up and you'll get a really good saturation. So some colors like this ochre are really light and I want it more saturated. And so that's just an easy way to scribble some off on a tin. Like your any pencils, or even the tin that the Neo colors came in, you can scribble on any of those. So any place there's going to be a really bright highlight is where I'm putting the ochre. Hey, Karen B. And right here on the shoulder. I gotta remember to keep moving because I'm so zoomed in. Okay. It's going to be highlighted on the back of this leg here, where the gold is going to be, just like where the highlights are. And I'm just scribbling out more on the tray. Probably a little line of it right along here. And you can also just take the crayon and go direct to the book, but then you do have to kind of work out the pigment so there's not a line. And the bad thing about that is then you're scrubbing water into your book. So you have to be careful when you go direct to the page with these, because to get the crayon to dissolve, you got to really work it sometimes when you do that. Alright, so now I want a little bit on the back here where I'm continuing on, and a little bit of gold in his tail. So I did have requests, let me move my phone. I did have requests to finish this one in particular, plus a couple other ones. And I just don't have time during the week when we're doing only 6 hours on Monday and 6 hours or so, on Wednesday. So I thought I'd just take a little time here and at least work on this one. But Jen Oz, who y'all saw here, was it a week and a half ago or so, who visited here, she, I think there might be, I might go ahead and put a little bit of glow right along this edge too, just to make him kind of shine. She was here visiting from Australia, and she will be, and that's his back leg there. She'll be at Barb Owens today. Sometime, I guess sometime she'll get there sometime around 10. So I don't know what time they're going to want to stream. So I might announce, okay, Barb and Jen are streaming right now. Y'all head over there if they stream this early. But yeah, so because I'm going to want to go too. But I'll see what time that will be. And so just I'm prepared to go right over there when they get there, because I want to see Jen too over at Barb's. Maybe Barb will bring out the cats. All right, so I'm just highlighting the tops of his feet here, and I'm just kind of going through and finding any areas that I really want to have the gold. Maybe just a little on the edge. No, because I want that to be the brown, the tanner color. Maybe a little bit more, whoops, maybe a little bit more here on his shoulder. That would be really highlighted in the white. Something like that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take the gray and the brown. I'm going to take both of them, and I'm going to just kind of go back and forth. I'm going to just kind of go back and forth between the brown and the gray. I have kind of the gray is kind of in the middle of his fur areas, and I'm not like coloring in every little fur patch. I'm just doing a general wash over the whole thing. It'll look more natural if you do that. So I'm kind of just going into where I'd see maybe some of the darker fur, and then I'm also just adding the brown. So it's kind of like a mixture of all of it. But remember, again, if you want more layers, let it dry in between, because you're going to oversaturate your page. I can't say that enough. All right, so I want the edges of all his fur to have that brown toward the back side there. Little toes. I don't know what color I'm going to do his little claws yet. I might do them something like red or something really dramatic. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit more gray. I'm just kind of going back and forth to the brown and the gray. No particular, just to get different colors in the fur, like that. And it'll be darker, and again, this, where it's really dark, there's where I've got, see how the gold shines on the top of him? And on the top of his arm there? Okay. All right, back to some gray. Going around some of these bats. And then some brown in there. Oh, I gotta keep moving. Gotta keep moving the book for the camera. They have to be red, yeah. The hubster's going in and out of the garage. Alright, I need a little more gray right in here. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. I'm not even cleaning my brush in between these two colors. Just going back and forth. And again, this is just the wash. Then we'll dry this, and then we'll shade with pencil. But I want it to be very modelly, you know, all different shades of brown and gray. No, except for the light areas where I know the light's hitting it. Yeah, it is very super dramatic, isn't it, Marilyn? With the gold. And I think I do need a little bit of ochre here and there, just to mix it up a little. And it's a little darker than it looks on camera. I might need to turn off the... hang on. Well, it's okay for now. And this is one nice thing about doing anything with paint or watercolors. You can get down there in the crevice of the book because it's a little tricky to get pencils down in there. So I'm just moving back and forth over the whole WereWolf. And then the tree there, I'm just going to ignore for a minute. All right. Get back in here with a lot of dark. A little bit of brown. And then I'll clean my brush off before I go into the ochre here. And I have a couple lighter colors that I was thinking about using too. I don't even really, the pale yellow doesn't really need to be used because the light ochre gives me enough light color, you know. Okay. Now let's go back over here to the brown. I'm sort of kind of doing yellow ochre, brown, gray, and then reverse it coming to the back. So, because I want a lot of gray and brown. But it's really no particular... Oh, I'm using a little bit more brown where the bats are so that the bats stand out from the fur with a contrast between the brown and the gray. Because there's a lot of bats. I'm trying to pick out his fur amongst them. I got a little, I don't know why it flashed out a little bit, but Elizabeth. I'm just working in the Mythomorphia on the WereWolf a little bit. Let's add some gray back in here. And then kind of get off the excess and then blend it out. All right, let's go down here. It might be Denise messaging me. on, guys. Well, I can't. Hang on. I got to get this because it's wet. I want to keep a wet edge there. There we go. All right, let's see. Yeah, hang on. One moment. My daughter's messaging me. Oh, Denise got her license. Remember, she was going for her mortgage loan originator license after, she's had her, what do you call it, license forever, real estate license. But she got, oh, yay. Congrats. She studied hard for that, baby. Let me tell you, that's not an easy one to, that's not an easy license to get. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Sorry, rabbit trail. I think this is really cool with the multiple colors. Oh, you're welcome, Trey. And again, it's really not a lot of, it's not exact. I mean, you can kind of pick out really darks with the gray, but, I'm just kind of, again, this is just the wash. We're going to do the detail with the pencils. So I can't really say, all right, so put this color here, put that color there. I can just tell you the colors I'm using. Know what I mean, Vern? Okay, a little brown there. And I think this hip might have a little bit of gold. Let me go ahead and do some ochre right here on this, where the hip would be standing out from, his body, where the moonlight might be hitting it, even though the moon's over here. But, just in general, his hip would probably have a little bit of gold right there. All right, let's get a little bit more gray now. A little much. Let's kind of water that down. Something like that. A little bit more brown. So it's just kind of that mottled effect. I like that a lot. I keep wanting to paint this like one of his legs, the tree. Okay, so we have a base all over his body. Now let's go down to his tail, and again, getting some of the gray in there. Well, let's do more brown, at least around the bats, because I'm going to shade those bats, and I want them to stand out a little. And up here too. Well, that's going to have some gold on it, but I'll get a little bit of brown in there. Is it too flashed out, guys? It's hard for me to tell. It's such a balance between flashing out and getting too dark. I mean, it's like there's almost no in between. It seems like it's always one or the other. A little more gray. I'm going to warm up that bat. A little too much pigment there. Let's wash that out. And down here on the bottom. Like that. Hey, Kimmy Poo. Vicky S. Who else am I missing? But hey, Brenda 3G. I'm sure I'm missing some. Carrie Ann. Hey, Moomy. Rhonda, Sandpats, Sarah, S. Davis. Thanks, guys, for being here. And of course, I always like saying twinkle toes. Okay, so there we go. And this is where we're heading. Okay, we're heading to this shading right like here. And this isn't even done yet either. Although I tried to get as much done on the top as I could before I put the gold. But I did kind of hurry it a little bit last week. So now I'm going to go ahead and clean off my brush, put the cap on. And I'm going to hit this with the heat gun. Just to dry everything. You always want to make sure everything's really perfectly dry before you start putting in your pencil. Thanks, Vicki. And there are a couple birds. I'm thinking they might be crows or ravens, you know. So I guess I could shade them the same as I'm doing the bats in grays and all. So maybe let's just do one here. So I'm going to get 3. You know, it doesn't take many on something this small. Let's get a black, a light gray, and a dark gray. Let me sharpen the black. I don't like a metallic anything, to tell you the truth. I mean metallic. Somebody just said in chat that they heard that the neo metallics don't work. I don't like the metallic neos, metallic pencils. I don't really care for, if I'm going to put metallic on something, I want it to be really bright, so I'm going to use paint. You know, either watercolor paint. Why am I holding that one? Watercolor paint or acrylic paint. Hey, Lori. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this little bird right here. I guess I could zoom in a little more, but then I'm really going to have to be moving the book around a lot. I'm not sure. Is this close enough, guys? All right, so I'm just going to start with a full shade of gray over the whole bird. We're going to make him a little raven. Now I'm going to go in there with the darkest gray and kind of pick out some of the shadows here. And the wings and the individual little feathers. Maybe right under his body. Are we zoomed in enough? Guys, you'll have to let me know if you can see. I try to kind of go back and forth between the full view and close-ups. But I want y'all to be able to see what we're doing. It's tricky business. Because that's little. Look, it's not much bigger than 2 fingernails. So I'm just adding a little bit of... And don't bear down. As long as you go do light layers, you can get a lot of color. And these are Prismacolor. You can get a lot of color layers and shading if you don't bear down. Thanks, Elizabeth. Okay, now I'm going to go in here with black in the very, very darkest areas. Like if it's a crow or a raven. And I try to kind of hold my pencil back far enough so my hand's not in the way. Kind of accent each little feather a little. And you can take as much time for this kind of thing, the little bitty details, as you want. And just kind of keep building it up. I'll go in here with the lighter gray and kind of blend it in. Because I want it to be a blackbird, but even a blackbird, you know, you could even put some blue in to make it look. And that's true on a black dog, like a lab, or I don't know all the breeds, but I'm going back to the black now. Anything that's black and shiny, like a dog's nose. A dog's nose, a blackbird that has shiny feathers. Blue is a good like reflector of for black, to like the highlights of black, a blue. Okay. But you don't want it to look like a bluebird, and you don't want your lab or whatever dog to look like a blue, like he's blue. But there will be like the light shining on it is blue. And I can just keep darkening a little bit more, because I do want it to look like a blackbird, but I'm working tiny in there. That might be enough. So just so you can kind of see there. But I don't want any blue in the bats. I want them to be like flat, you know. There's a little bit of highlight on the top of his wing, but so yeah. All right, let me take a sip of coffee. It's a beautiful day though out. Maybe I should have gone to the lake. No, I got stuff I got to get done. Like I said, I'm working. All right, so all the bats already have a light coat of gray on it. It's very hard to see because it's a light coat of light gray, but I did that last week just as a base to kind of pick out the bats. Here's another bird. There's lots of birds. Maybe I'll do a couple more birds because it seems like, well, I'll just go back and forth between the bats and the birds. Anyway, I wanted to do at least, work on this color book page. And let me do a test my chat, make sure it's moving. And I haven't done any sketchy portraits for a while for the sketchy group. And so I have 4 people I've picked out to draw over on sketchy. And I have a couple commissions, but they're not due like immediately. So they're like, some of them are a couple months. And I do like it when people give me plenty of time. Just saying, if you commission me to, because I don't like to rush, and I don't like to get, backed up. All right, so I'm just kind of putting another layer of gray on top of that. I'm leaving the edge. I want to leave the edge of the bat wings, like where the light might be hitting it. hitting it. So I'm not in any rush right now. I had a portrait of I finished of a just watch. Oh, okay. Thanks, Sandra. So I'm caught up, is what I'm saying. I still have some in the works, but they're not immediate. They're not like, they don't need them immediately. So, but so what I'm trying to say is now in between my portraits that I'm kind of caught up, I want to work on a couple sketchies because I love that group, and I don't want to like not be a part of it. So I'm just like working on 2 at a time here. So I picked out 4 people to draw for that group. It's really the only drawing group I'm in. I mean, all kinds of, and that's not on Facebook. That's just, that's separate from Facebook. I mean, although there is a sketchy conversation group over there, it's not like where you really show your work. But there is a group on Facebook. But and I'm in quite a few color book groups over there, although I don't really chat in them. I'm not real chatty on Facebook. Let's just put it that way. But I am in a few groups, a couple of history groups, and Oak Island groups. So yeah, so that one's pretty. It's a little bit more black. Look, black under the wing here. Because I just don't have time for them. But I try to support the groups I'm in, at least by liking and a little bit, but Alright, so I think that's good on that bat. Let's go down here to this one. And they're so tiny, you just got to almost just add a little bit essence of bat color. You know, because there's just not a lot of coloring real estate on these little bitty creatures. But the overall effect, you know, when they're all in there. See, when you get them all in there. Y'all didn't know that you're going to come and watch bats today, did you? Little highlight on them. Bats being colored, bats and ravens. But yeah, and we'll get over on the fur here in a minute, but I just wanted to add in a few of these because the fur is there too. So I want to be able to just, because some of it really just like kind of all blends together in the bat and the fur. So I like to kind of pick out the bats a little bit just so I can kind of find them amongst the fur. And there's no right or wrong about, you know, coloring the background first, the foreground, the little items, the big items. It's just really, especially, you know, like on these very doodly type pages, it's almost like you just gotta pick out what you can see and roll with it, you know. And every bat, you're not seeing every part. You're not seeing the head of every bat. You're not seeing, you know, they're just kind of clumped together. All right, let's do this bird right here. Put a coat of light gray over the whole thing because that'll be the highlights. Pick out the dark gray. Y'all talking about breakfast. I had a piece of toast before I hit record, just so y'all didn't hear my stomach grumbling. Because it's early. This is, you know, it's earlier than I normally stream, although now it's almost 9 o'clock. I wanted to start at 7, but Hubster didn't leave early as I thought he was going to leave. He's going to run some errands, and then he's going to go to the lake. So he's just on the errands right now. And I got him to do them without me, so. We're going to surprise it. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Moomy. Good to see you, by the way. Hope you're doing well. All right, now I'm going into the black. Again, just kind of like this one here. Pick out a few feathers. And we obviously will not be finishing this. Just saying. But, you know, this is one of the ones that was requested to work on more. And, you know, so if you're one of the ones that wanted to see this worked on more, I'm not obviously not going to finish it here. I mean, you know, I'll continue to work on it, and hopefully you'll get some more like tips or whatever. All right, back to the black. But it's so much of it is just like what you see in your vision of it. All right, this little bitty guy right here, let's just do a little shade of black and then a little bit more light gray, a little bit of dark gray. These two are kind of almost bumping into each other. A little more black. This bird, let's put a little more black in his wing there. Okay, Elizabeth. Oh, have fun with the soccer. Thanks for stopping in. Alright, so yeah, let me try to, I'll zoom in one more here. Let's readjust. There we go, and let's there we go. Okay, let's do a couple more bats. Go with the dark gray first. So what's everybody else working on? Are you coloring? Not, I mean, not necessarily this moment, but are you working on any kind of color books that you're really, really enjoying at the moment? If you want to say, I'll repeat them. I'll repeat the ones you're working on. My grandma just found me a huge open source library of coloring books. Yeah, there's awesome free color book pages online that you can print out. The only thing I would caution you when you print out your color book pages is to make sure your particular inkjet printer, if you're going to use water medium, will not smear. I have a nice Epson Artesian, and the ink in it does not seem to smear really at all. Now, I guess I could really force it to if I really wet it and moved it. But just for some nice general washes, my Copics don't even. The alcohol-based markers, the Hoo Hero markers, none of them smeared when I did that test last week with alcohol-based markers. So what I'm saying is just make sure when you print out your pages to color that your particular inkjet printer, if you're going to use alcohol-based markers or neo colors or any kind of water-soluble things, that it doesn't move the ink. Claudia's doing Fantasia, using pastels on the Fairy Girl. Vicky S is coloring Entangled Treasures. I don't know if I know that one. I'm sure it's a Zentangle. Zentangle one. I kind of get a few more little feathers to pop out here. I'll do that on this one too. Just a little bit extra. Got to have a nice sharp pencil to get in some of those little places. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed something Zandra said. Don't have pale yellow and any water-soluble pencils. Do you have suggestions of what I should use? Nope. Well, then just use watered-down yellow, Kimmy, Pooh. Just scribble off. If you're talking about neo colors, just scribble it off on the tray like I was doing earlier and water it down. It'll be light. It'll be plenty light. Claudia says that her printer ink is hydrophobic, actually helps in some cases and makes it difficult for light grayscale. Yeah, I'm not really familiar with that, Claudia. Anonymous, is that, I'm not sure who Anonymous is. We like to know your name. I'm not sure if that's Clarissa, coloring in Mythomorphia. Hey, Dot. Ruth Sanderson, World of Fairies, doing the background now. I have a few fairy books. I'm not sure of all the authors' names. That's cool. What are you doing the background in, Karen? Are you painting it? Are you painting in the background? It makes us, I'm telling you guys, I love painting my backgrounds. It's so much quicker than trying to color the background, unless you're going for something really dramatic or something, you know, like a lot of a sunset. But even that I did in my neo colors in here. Where's that one? Here's the snow scene here. That's Neo Colors. It's a little, there we go. And this is another one that people want me to keep working in. You can see we got the trees going there. There we go. I have to kind of tilt it just a little so that it doesn't completely flash out because there's a lot of white on there. Get back over here to my birds. All right, so let me keep working and chatting here. I wanna see what y'all are coloring though. Prismacolor, but I have Americana paint on order. Yeah, Americana paints, I like them because they have great colors. Not only that, not only do they have great colors, but they have good coverage. And again, certain colors like lime green, red, and this is true of any brand that I've noticed, are just more translucent by nature and might take 2 coats on your background. So, and again, when I do it, I kind of scrub it in. You know, I'll take my small, do I have a brush here? I'll take my, brush and I kind of scrub the paint into the page. Now, let me define that. When I'm doing a solid color, like here's black, okay? So there's no water. Then you have to be aware. If you're never sure, then do a test in your back page. Okay, so when I say I'm scrubbing in, I'm really, getting it solid with no water. I'm not scrubbing like here when I was doing this. When I was doing this with the water, I was not, going because you're gonna go right through the book. Because it's the water that you always have to be aware of. When you don't add any water, there's no water to this paint. Well, you can get another kind of craft paint. There's all kinds of craft paints in the UK, Karen. They're none of them are terrible. I'm just saying. You can use any cheap craft paint. I mean, my Americanas, I get them for all the time on sale for, 79 cents to $1.29. And I know they're more expensive in UK and shipping and all that, but you don't have to have Americana is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to, it's just any kind of craft paint is fine. So when I say I'm scrubbing like these backgrounds, there's no water. No water in the paint. I don't want it, because I don't want people emailing me. I scrubbed like you said and went right through the page. That's because you had water. Don't add water when you want a flat color. Okay. All right, let's move along. Let's get back to my dark gray here and do a couple more bats. A little bit of light gray right along the edge. Okay, so let's see what everybody else is coloring. Someone said, I don't know what popular one, something popped, that rolled off. I didn't see that, sorry. Chat is not moving terribly quick. It's a low-key day because it's an impromptu. I did tweet it, but it is early too. I usually don't come on till at least 8:30 Eastern for a pre-chat. I came on even earlier today because I want to get stuff done. Carol TMT. Carol, if you want to put your link in, I'll open links for you. Or Marilyn coulda, I guess. Put your link in there. Hey, Grammy, for your show. She streams at 11. And then, but we don't know what time Barb and Jen from Australia are streaming. They could stream at any time, so, because that's just too hard for them to plan a time when Jen's traveling across the United States. We all just stop and let them stream whenever. But links are open, Carol, if you want to put it in. Hey, Azure Muse, good to see you. Well, so I'm sure I'm missing lots of people. Hey, CB. No, it's an impromptu to kind of catch up a little bit, CB, because I have people requesting me to finish certain pages like this one, and obviously I'm not going to finish it today, but I figured if I worked on them a little bit on Saturday morning, and I can't say how many Saturdays that will happen because it all depends on what Hubsters, what we're doing on the weekends. But he's running the errands this morning, and then he's got to go to the lake. He's meeting his sisters down there to do some work. So, and I was invited to go work at the lake. So, and put that light. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah. And what's your is Carol? Is your UStream the same name? I mean, your YouTube. Do you upload them to YouTube? What's your YouTube channel name? See, I have everybody's bookmarked. Like I will have Carol T, or anybody else that I watch. I just have it by their names, so I never know your channel, your official channel names, because I have you in there by your name that I know you by. Like I have Janet, Jean. So I have to always think, what's the name of their channels again? Well, not them too, but because I go to theirs all the time. But I always have to think of what's those channel names, because they're not um I don't have them favorited by their true names. I have them by their real names. Carol TMT. Okay, Carol TMT. All right. Yeah, I leave links closed now, kind of like Paula does. I think Janet. Anyway, so if you need to post a link to something, just ask the mods and they can open the links for you and temporarily. Okay, so we're going to keep working on the little bats here. Let me go to the dark gray like a sharp, and I'm getting down to some tiny bats. Oh, the magical touch. Yeah, the magical touch. Carol TMT. The magical touch with a K. Magical, Kal, touch. Thanks, Carol. I'll get in there with some black. Little tiny bats. And then I'll work a little bit on the bats, a little more, and then I'm going to go back up on the fur. Kind of going back and forth so you can see a little bit of both. But it looks just so dramatic once you get them all in. You see how it's starting to look real dramatic by getting a whole bunch of them in? Hey, Fancy Lime. So I'm trying to get in quite a few just so you can see the dramaticness. Is that a word? Of it. All right, let's go back up here. That's this wing for this bat. See, they're starting to overlap here. And I'm just going back and forth between the grays and the black. And just kind of... I'm winging it! Ha 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 ha. Okay. Oh, sorry. Gonna resist. I'm just winging it. And CB on Janet's stream said something about how did it go? We were talking about oh my gosh, I can't remember. But we were both making references to Young Frankenstein at the same time, and we were getting it. And I don't think anybody else got it, CB, but us. Hump? What hump? And Carol, I forget which one you said, Carol. CB. But it was funny because I think we were the only two that were paying any attention to the Young Frankenstein references. And I think that's the background right there. And that's fur. Sometimes you just got to kind of guess. Is that fur? Is that a bat? Is that a, because they're all kind of intermingle right in some of these areas. You just got to kind of just play it by ear. Yeah, Igor. Yeah. And then what was it? Oh, yeah. AB normal. I got the brain that said AB normal. You mean A, B, normal? Something like that, anyway. I need to pull that movie back out and watch it. I think we have it all the way back to beta. Now that we got rid of our betas. We do. We still have a few VHS. Yeah, we started out with beta back in the day. That was like, is it going to go beta? Is it going to go VHS? Is it going to go beta? Is it going to go VHS? Back in the day. And it ended up going VHS. But the thing that we went with beta, and it was more expensive at the time, is if you wanted to record your shows, the beta was the better one. But I guess people just never ended up really recording shows. They just ended up buying them, right? So VHS won out in the long run. Of course, not the long, long run. But you too, Trey. Thank you. You're welcome. And all right, let's see. This one, I'm doing a little gray here and a little bit of, you just got to kind of maybe leave just a little bit of light gray on some of the edges so that you can see the points and things of the bat wings, because especially where they're all mingled up here and they're all flickering to get flying together in a mass, it's kind of hard to tell what is what. So you just got to kind of wing it. Because like I said before, Kerby or any of the color book artists, they're not going to email and you go, that was not a bat wing. That was part of his fur. That's not going to happen. So remember, you're the boss of your color book. I can't resist, sorry. All right, let's go back. I'm just going back and forth from the grays here. See, there's one right in there. Yep, just gotta wing it. I'm going here with some black. Because remember, this is a there's a werewolf. Their wolf. I really kind of want to finish this little little grouping here now because the fur is right behind it. So if I get all these done, I know right where the fur is. Or put a bird on it. Yeah, Marilyn. Put a bird or a bat. I showed y'all that picture of my daughter at Bodega Bay where they filmed um, the birds. Didn't I? Yeah, I did. Did I put it on? Let me see if I put it on my iPad. I can show you on my phone if I didn't. It might just be on my phone. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I just looked at all my sketchy pictures I want to work on. I might do some recordings. They don't have to be live. Took a course in college, abnormal psychology. Loved it so much I changed majors. Knew almost all the people in the book. You knew almost all the people in the book? In the abnormal psychology? Oh my gosh. CB. Abby normal. Let me get my phone. Anyway, this is just so funny. I love that movie. All right, so the birds, did I keep that picture of Annie and Logan? So Annie and Logan took a picture of them running like they were running from birds. Oh, dang, I thought I saved it on my phone. I have to go to Facebook and find it, I think. Did I keep it? I thought I did. Here it is. Okay. And then Annie photoshopped in the birds. Look at this picture. They're running, and Annie photoshopped all those birds in. Isn't that awesome? That's the actual schoolhouse that the birds was filmed from. Oh, I love that picture. I made that the picture, her phone picture. So when she calls me, that's the picture I see. And Denise will probably say, "Why did you show that picture?" But I can't help it. Let me see if I. Oh no, I can't show you unless I call her or she calls me. So I have a great picture of Denise. She gave it to me. I don't think I can. Let me see. She sent me a picture, or took a picture of herself when she was here. Yeah, it won't let me click on her photo. Let's see. Maybe it will. Edit. No, it won't let me. I was going to show you the picture, but she sent it to me, so I don't have a big picture of it. But oh wait, maybe I do. Hang on. Maybe I did keep it. It's hilarious. Rabbit trail. Yeah, here it is. She took this selfie. So now, when Denise calls me, when she calls me, this is the picture that pops up on my phone. Oh well, I love it. Okay, let me finish these little bats here. I'm getting batty. I'm getting batty here. Let's get these two. That's part of the fur there. That toast, yeah, Marilyn. I had a piece of toast, Marilyn, saying that toast went right to my head. It did, didn't it, Marilyn? See, I'm just kind of leaving a little highlight on the tops of their wings. so it kind of distinguishes the way. Because if you could just color them all black, but it's just going to look like a big black blobs. But if you leave just a little bit of highlight, like on the top of their heads or on the edges of their wings, if you just do just that much, just that little bit of edge, it'll give it, it'll separate the wings from each other. All right. And then some you can just maybe, just kind of almost color in solid in those background ones. But if you just leave that little bit of light, a tiny bit of edging, it'll separate the wings from one another. And that might even be a branch there. I don't know. That looks like part of his. Some of these look like the bats are like almost growing off of his fur or tangled in the fur. Could be. Hey, Azure Muse, it's been a while. Hope you've been okay. Haven't seen you much. Again, that may be a branch, but Kerby's not going to email me go, that was a branch, not a bat. Okay, so kind of just filling in a few spots in the background that, it's hard to paint into. So that looks pretty good, doesn't it? All those bats. But look, we have tons more. This is why it takes a while to do these pages, guys. Look, still got these up here, bird here. I'm just trying to get the ones done that are on his fur, and even though there's still more this way, at least I can see the fur. This was a little cluster that was kind of hard to tell what was what. Okay, so now we're going to move back up here to the werewolf. And everybody's saying, yes, claws got to be red. All right, so we have a wash of Neo colors all over him. Pretty much these 4 colors. Brown, olive brown, dark gray, and ochre. Those are the main colors that are a wash all over him. And again, it's a little flashed out. Let me tilt it, maybe see. Well, it's not really helping. Anyway, it's a little darker in person. And then after we do the shading in the fur, that's when I went back on top with the metallic gold right along the, let me move, these crayons are rolling. Move that out of the way. Everything wants to roll toward me. See the gold on his fur? And right along the edge of his body, I'm going to have the gold. But remember, do that at the very, very end. Oh, good. Well, welcome back with Windows. Now back. No more missing Windows 10. Okay, well, good, Azure Muse. Good to have you. Yeah, I've reordered over the last, since 10 came out, I've ordered 2 new laptops and a desktop, and all of them I made sure did not have Windows 10. I mean, I know eventually you're going to have to upgrade to whatever they tell you to, but until I have to, 7 for me. Okay, so anyway, There you go. You can see. Do that at the very, very end. Again, I did a little bit ahead because I wanted y'all to see what it was going to look like last week in case I didn't get back to this. I wanted you to see where, when you add the gold in certain spots, what happens to it. Now, that's not going to photograph. I'll have to take a separate photograph like that so you can see the gold shimmer, because gold and metallics don't photograph well, so when I post it. Okay, so now I don't know if I have my same, yeah, I do have some of the same colors. So I'm going to get my dark gray, my light grays, the same grays that I had here. Don't need black right now, but I need my dark brown. And what other color did I have? I think mostly those, and a tan to blend the brown. Okay, so let me sharpen these, and I'll tell you the colors that we're going to use for pencils. Are you going to collage something? No, I'm not going to collage on this one. I don't mind collaging on pages in my color books if they're the kind that I can tear out. When they're in the book, if you start collaging inside the book, they're already fluffy enough with just the water and the neo colors or the acrylic paint. They're already fluffy enough. I start collaging in them, although it's not that I haven't ever done it, but you know, generally speaking, you don't want to fluff it up too much. I do enough collages in my other books so you can see them. Well, I have been using pencils for so many years. I know I can color book page well because I've used pencils for so many years in my portraits. You know? Oh, so speaking of portraits, that's what I was going to say. So I have 4 sketchy faces that I want to draw. And so I might film those. I don't like to film commissions because I always like the people that commission me to see it first, unless they give me permission. Some people go, oh, film it, you know, and sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, depending on time. That's the other thing, you know. Let me keep working here. I'm going to start shading. Where's my dark brown? So I'm going to start doing some, you know, getting in here with some of the shading. And there's no real particular order. I'm going to kind of go with the colors, like where I have the ochre, I'm going to go with a darker ochre. Maybe a little bit, I could probably use a little bit of sienna or a little bit of, this is, oh, I was going to tell you the names. So where I have the ochre, if this ochre is not, and I think it's goldenrod, if it's not dark enough to shade, I'll use the light umber to shade in the ochre areas. Okay, so these will be my ochre colors. Then in the gray, I'm going to use my cool 70% cool gray and my 30% cool gray. Those are the grays that I'll be using in the gray section. And then in the brown section, I'll be shading with dark brown, and I think this is light peach, just to blend so that the brown kind of blends out a little bit. Okay, so those are the 3 sets of colors that I'm going to use to shade in those 3 areas. And then after it's all said and done, we'll go in there with some gold highlights with the Americana gold paint. It doesn't have to be Americana. I want to get some of that fine tech watercolor gold. I did get some for Cam for Christmas, and he loves it. And Bailey J uses it. And I've seen other people use that watercolor fine tech gold watercolor paint. Now, but do remember, guys, here's one thing to remember. When you're using neo colors, watercolor, anything water soluble on your page, it can move. It's not permanent unless it's an Inktense pencil, which, you know, if that is dissolved and dries, it's permanent. But your water-based mediums, if you put them on here, they still can be moved again with water. So just be aware of that. That's why I don't use watercolors or any kind of water mediums in my collage, because then when I go to put matte medium and collaging and gluing and then I varnish, anything that's water soluble is going to move. Okay, so you got to kind of know your supplies. So back to what I was saying. I'm going to start working now. I need my dark brown. So I'm getting right in here where you can see. There we go. So when people commission me, I like them to be the first ones to see their commissions. But some people say, well, I want to see how you do your portraits. Well, the only way I can do that is do stuff like sketchy, where I'm doing portraits for the group, the sketchy group, and for demo purposes, then you can see them. But a couple things about that. One, they take quite a long time, and people, for the most part, I mean, there's a lot of people in our group that are interested in seeing me do portraits, but not as many that want to see me draw, sketch animals or color book or collage, mixed media, and art journal. Those are just the things people want to see the most. So I'm thinking of just recording some videos. They don't have to be live chats, just recording some videos to put on YouTube that are demos of my portraits. Yeah, and you can put stickles too. Again, let me tell you a couple things about stickles. If you use stickles, let me grab one up here so people ask what that is too that may not have ever heard. It's hard to believe people haven't heard of stickles, but they're. So stickles it's like a glitter glue. They come in tons of colors. But if you just want to test them out, get this is Stardust or Diamond, and they're clear. And the thing about the clear ones is whatever you put it over, especially the diamond's the best for see-through. This has a little bit of shimmer of other colors in it. The diamond stickles, when you put it over, like if I put it over brown, it's going to look like brown glitter. So even if you just get one stickles, get the diamond stickles, or one, or like this one, I guess Stardust, but it's got a little bit of color in it, but not much. But when you use it in your color book, make sure, hey Barb, we're all waiting on you. Is Jen there yet? Is Jen there? Are you ready to stream? Let me finish real quick on the stickles. When you put the stickles on, make sure you smooth it out so that's not bumpy. Like I have stickles on the snow scene. See there on the tops of the mountains? But if you don't smooth it out, it's going to be bumpy. So when you go to color on the other side, you're going to be fighting a bump. So, okay, Barb, do you know when she's going to be there yet? There's a lag in chat, so I have to wait till Barb answers. Because she and Jen are going to stream. I guess you're going to stream. We're all assuming you're going to stream, Barb. So I'm going to wait and see what she says here. All right, now I'm going to go for the dark gray and some of the dark gray or some of the gray area, because I wanted multiple color fur, right? I wanted all these colors of fur kind of just blend together. So you got to do that with the pencil too. Just because you did it with the Neo Color wash, now you got to go in there and do it. Not for another hour and a half, okay? So you have to. Are you excited, Barb? Is she there yet? I guess she's not there yet then. We're getting updates on Jen from Australia visiting Barb today. They're taking in case y'all don't know, our friend Jen and her husband are taking a 2-month tour of the United States. They flew over from Australia to San Francisco, and they are traveling all the way across the United States, well, down and up and down to Florida, back up to here to Atlanta to see me, up on the East Coast. They went to Niagara Falls, Toronto. They got to see Paula and Kerby a couple days ago, and now they're back down, and they got to visit Marie, and now they're going down to Missouri to see Barb, and then I don't know where they're going from there. You do plan to stream, okay. Probably streaming around noon Eastern. No, she's not here. Okay. Okay. All right. Somewhere. Oh, we'll be watching for tweets. Yay, we're excited. So anyway, they're making a 2-month tour of the United States. And I'm just doing little like fur lines here. I'm doing the dark, the shading areas now. I'm doing the dark shading gray in the grays, and then I'm doing the dark brown in the browns. And then I got the ochre, and if the ochre's, oops, I just snapped that lid, didn't I? If the ochre's not dark enough, that's why I got the burnt umber to shade in the ochre areas. So like right up in here. Now I can't get too much pressure up here because this has got gold on it now. So the pencil, where I'm trying to go over with the pencil on the gold, it's like resisting it. I can bear down and get a little bit in there, but any place I have the gold, it's going to resist it. That's why I said to do the gold at the very end, because you can't layer up and blend on top of the shimmery, the shiny paint. I mean, I can bear down and get in there a little bit, but I don't like to do that. I don't like to try to force the pencil in there. It's better to just wait on the gold till you're completely done and then go in there and do that. But this part right here is okay, right down in here. So where the ochre is, I can put a little bit of this umber and go back and forth between the umber and the golden, it's goldenrod. See right there, that's got gold already on it. I can't get there. I can't get a shade right there because I hate to bear down. Because the thing about when you bear down, and again, you should always have a thing behind it, but if you bear down, it's still going to put a dent on this side. So you don't want to do that if you don't have to. Hey, Miss Kim. Hey, Charlie girl. Anybody else I might have missed? So, but down here, I'm okay. So if you're just joining us, it's a Saturday impromptu because I have people asking me to finish certain pages in my books, in my color books. And, even though I'll stream 6 hours at a time on like a Monday or a Wednesday, it's not enough time in the week to finish pages. I mean, and I couldn't finish one anyway at one sitting. But it takes a couple sittings or more to finish these color book pages well, right? And so I just don't have time, but I've got, especially this one, everybody really wanted to see me do this one. And so I said, well, I'll try. It'll take a few parts, and I won't exclusively be doing this until it's done. Let me go back to my dark brown here. I'll be doing other things in between. So you have to kind of be patient because I don't want to spend, I know I did it with the Bennett Klein Oh Dear page. I did a 10-part and I just worked and worked and worked and worked on it till it's completely done. But I don't really want to do that, guys. Down in here, there's, I want to get some ochre shading down in here. I don't really want to do 10 parts on one color book page before I move on to other projects. I don't enjoy that, So it is what it is. I will try to finish as much as I can, but I think you're getting the idea as we go, right? I think you're getting the idea. Okay, this needs a little bit darker brown right in here behind his ear because it's really kind of dipped in right there. Thanks. Working it. All right, I'm going to go back to the dark gray up here in his face. Let's get a little bit more in his face. And the thing about the color books, they already have a lot of the shading done, so you don't have to guess where to shade. Now on the bats, they are flat. You had to kind of guess, how to shade your bats, because we're batty that way. And you got to wing it, but because they're just flat outlines. But as long as you just leave a little bit of light on the tops of their wings, it'll work. See, there's lots of bats there. And a couple of ravens or crows or something in there. Uh, yeah, trust me, Barb, let me tell you this. When you meet Jen, do not be worried or nervous about anything. And everybody has said this. She and Squiz are no trouble at all. I'm telling you, Barb, you do not have to worry about, oh my gosh, what if she doesn't like this food? What if she, you trust me. They're awesome. They are so laid back. I mean, they'd have to be, right, to travel across the United States in 2 months and back. They're so friendly. They're so nice. They're just so, you will love them. Everybody does. You can't not love those two. So, just, it'll be fine. Just saying. All right, so I think I want to go with the little yellow ochre right on the edges of his chinny chin hairs, because I might put some gold. And I'm trying to put the ochre where under the base of where I'm going to put the gold paint at the end. So there might be a little bit of glittery drool. Or no, it might need to be blood. Because I'll probably have a bright red tongue. And his teeth, I'll probably maybe I'll make his teeth olive green. Yeah, CB. Exactly. It's not even like they're guests. I'm telling you. It's like you just had your next door neighbor come in. Isn't it, CB? It's like you have known them all your life. It really is, Barb. It's like you've known them all your life. You'll see. And you're going to say the same thing after they leave. Oh my gosh, I wish I could have stayed longer. They're so fun. They're no trouble. It's like they're neighbors. I'm telling you, you're going to say that. We all do, right, CB? So just enjoy them because they are so fun. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of gold, like, a little bit of ochre here and there just to mix up the fur colors. I know, they do, for sure. Yep, for sure. Okay. All right, Barb. All right, so let's get back in here with and thanks, guys. I'm glad you're liking it. Just kind of, oh, yeah, you back from the store?
I am. I've got some laundry to wear next.
Oh, good. I'm still coloring for the girls. Jen and Squiz are getting ready to be at Barb's house. I was just talking to Hubster, but he walked in the other room, so he didn't hear me. So, yeah, I'm just kind of going over the whole thing. I said Jen and Squiz are getting ready to be at Barb's house in about an hour or so.
Oh, what fun.
I know, but I was telling Barb, they're just like, they're not even like guests. They're just
family.
So, yeah, it's like they're family.
Yeah, they're no trouble whatsoever. People, are we on the air?
Yes, we're on the air. Okay. That's okay.
You have many followers this morning?
About 45, because it's an impromptu,
Impromptu? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you take my preparation H again this morning?
You're so funny. No.
Just kidding.
I know. He's such a character. He loves to do stuff like that. I think I've told y'all about the time we were at the theater. Well, I know I've told y'all. I'm getting a little bit of black right around his nose here. And this was back when we were playing video games all the time. At theaters, they'd all have video games. And, for a quarter, 50 cents, whatever. And I'm just getting in some real dark blacks in certain areas here around his mouth. And his eye. And so I'd run out of quarters, and oh man, I love my Ms. Pac-Man. I was a Ms. Pac-Man champ. Just saying, not bragging. I really was a Miss Pac-Man. Anyway, so I'd run out of quarters, so he was playing a different game. So I walked up behind him, and it's loud in those arcade rooms, right? I mean, it's really loud. Ding, 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 ding. Everything's going on, and people are talking. So I had to talk really loud, and I talk loud anyway. Y'all know I talk loud anyway. So I walked up to him. Hey, bud. His name is Buddy. All right. I walked up to him. I said, hey, bud, you got a quarter? And of course, everybody's looking at me like, you know. And he turned around and looked at me and went, I beg your pardon, and turned back around and started playing his game. And like he didn't even know me. That's my husband. That's the kind of character he is. Oh, CB says, Barb, will you... Oh, no, she said she's going to stream, CB. She said she was going to stream somewhere around noon Eastern. At first she said 11, and then she changed it to noon. So probably somewhere between 11 and 12 Eastern. CB. She already said that, yeah. So, yeah. CB was asking Barb, if you're listening from across the room, whether you were going to stream. Oh, you mean on Ustream or YouTube? Oh, now that is a good question, Barb. Will you be streaming on Ustream or on YouTube? The girls want to know. Okay, so it's going to be on YouTube. Okay, well, that's good to know, Barb, because we would have all been waiting on you on YouTube. I mean, on Ustream. So Barb's going to stream it on YouTube. Okay, thanks, Barb. Yeah, good question, CB. Thanks. Because I would have been sitting in Barb's channel wondering where is everybody? Yeah, okay. Thanks, Barb. I'm glad you came in and let us know, because most of us probably would have been sitting. I'm just hitting a couple of real dark areas with the black. I don't want it to be like, I just want a couple of really, really contrasted, shaded areas here and there. Just a little here and there. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, CB, because we would have wondered, well, where are they? So how's it looking, guys? You think it's looking good? Now I'm going to go back to the dark gray and kind of just work on that. Blending them out a little. Oh, it needs a little bit extra dark right in the ear area there. So anyway, what I was saying earlier about portraits in my sketchy drawings is I might record those, whether I'm with anybody. All right, so here, look, you can see the difference. Look at the I just looked up at the screen. See the difference here to here? This is where we're heading. This is where we started, right? But you see how long it takes to do that, too. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the dark brown in a couple areas. Again, it's really tricky for me to get any darker up here because I already added the gold, too early. But I wanted to show you guys how to do the gold in case I didn't get back to it. But I'm really having to bear down to get any color to go over the gold. Just saying. It's because of the gold paint that I put on there. At first. Okay. Now I am going to go behind here to sharpen up. I want to get a little bit, some of those fur edges nice and pointy, and I'm going to go in there with black behind it. But I don't want to lose my red, but a little bit of black in there is okay. Yeah, there's a lag, so we hear y'all see the answers and we hear the answers at a little bit different times, like a 30-second, sometimes up to a minute lag. Usually it's just about 30 seconds though. And that's why when I ask questions or you ask me questions, by the time I see your question, sometimes it's moved on to something else. And it's like, well, which question am I supposed to, because there is a lag. All right, I'm going to have to bear down in here because I need a little bit of dark right in there. So I'm going to push real hard over the top of that gold in some of those areas. And then I'll have to put the gold back over because I don't know if you'll be able to see. But now I've lost the gold. See? Look. See where I put the dark brown on top of the gold? I don't want that to be prominent over the gold. So I'll have to go back over that with the gold. But there's a couple areas in here where it really needed some darker shadowing. But that's why you want to do the gold last. And I'm just going to keep working back over his back. Glass blowers are on. Thank God for more than... Are you watching a glass blower stream, Azure? Oh my gosh, have you ever seen the documentary on... oh, what's his name? His name just escaped me. And he has a thing down at the... He has an exhibit at our botanical garden, too. Hang on, somebody will say his name before I even think of it in chat. And I know people watching it on the recording going, they're screaming it out loud. It always happens. They know exactly who I'm talking about. Chihuly. There's a great documentary. Well, actually, there's a couple. But there's a good 2-hour, maybe 3-hour documentary on Chihuly that is so awesome. And he has a, I think it's still there, an exhibition at our botanical gardens in Atlanta. I haven't made it over there, and I feel bad too. I really want to go see it. He has some permanent exhibits there. I think 2 permanent exhibits at our, maybe more now that he had that big exhibit. But I'm just going to keep working my way back down here. At the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. Oh, it's so beautiful there. If y'all are ever in Atlanta, you need to go to the aquarium. You need to go to the Botanical Gardens. Of course, everybody goes to the Coca-Cola and CNN and, you know, all that, those tours as well. But most everybody here, they're, you know, the kids go there for school field trips. CNN, and we took them to CNN once when they could actually get filmed and all that. It's really kind of cool. But most of the kids around here go to the High Museum of Art, the CNN, Coca-Cola. They go to those places on field trips. Yes, it's Saturday. Hi, Eileen. Yeah, I tweeted last night to Jean. Let's fill in our Eileen coming in just now. I tweeted last night that I wanted to catch up on some color book pages that I don't have time to do during the week, and I've been requested to finish specifically this one. So I came on to work on it, and here's some bats we've been working on. And the other update is, Eileen, that, yeah, and Moomy's here. The other update is that Barb and Jen are going to stream on YouTube sometime. I'm going to go back to the yellow ochre. Sometime between 11 and 12. And I'm sure we'll all tweet it all and everything. Between 11 and 12 Eastern. When Jen gets there. And Eileen, well, Barb stepped away. But isn't it true? They are no trouble. It's like they're your next door neighbors coming into the house. They're just, I mean, I don't know how many, well, I do too. I kind of can tell you how many. These are all the people that she gave us all cards, her schedule, all the places. And there's, I think, 1 or 2 extras in. Here's my little koala. This is my little Jen schedule. We all try to keep up with her travels across the states. And Eileen, she's visited her down in Florida. And we're following her along. Yeah. So today it's Barb's turn. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm kind of trying to get the dark brown gold colors. But this is going to be a little bit more time consuming to get in there between the bats. So I'm going to come back up here where you can see things better. Go back to the gray now. Okay, so again, I'm going to get a little bit of black. I don't want to get too much black. I like a contrast, but I'm trying to keep the black to a minimum. So I'm just kind of getting in some of the very, very darkest under the shoulder fur there. Okay. And then go back in here with the dark gray to kind of blend those out. And then I'll go into the light gray. And then I'll probably do these bats right here. So I am going to try to do more impromptus. I try to tweet out when I do them, but I can't ever tell you exactly. My for sure schedule is every Monday and Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And I usually come on maybe a little bit early just to chat and say good morning to everybody before I hit record. So if you come over a little early on those 2 days, I'll do an occasional Friday. Fridays are kind of tricky, but I'll sometimes, that's why I've just called my Fridays impromptus, because I never really know for sure. Hey, Suzanne. Yes, you have a question. Oh, sorry, Suzanne. Yes. Suzanne, you didn't get, I'm surprised you didn't get auto booted for flooding the channel with that. If you ever do that, look, see what Suzanne just put in there, guys, that flood of letters. She's asking me, she's being funny. She's being a wise guy and put in a bunch of Q's for a question. But if you do that, you can get automatically booted out. So don't accuse us of kicking you out, Suzanne, if that ever happens. So what's your question? Okay, I got to sharpen these pencils now to get in these little bat areas. What's the question, Suzanne? Or did somebody else ask one and I missed it? Which very possibly could have happened. Yeah, one of your cats booted you out. Yeah, yeah, walking on your keyboard. I'm just sharpening all my pencils again just to get them nice and pointy for the detail. And again, these are all Prisma. Okay, let's go back here in the gray. I'm going to get some light gray in here now. And again, there's really no rhyme or reason. I just want, different colorations flowing through his fur. Just kind of blending them in. And that's as far as I got right there. All right, so let's go back to these bats, these 3 bats right here. So just a little bit of medium gray, and then I'll get right tucked in there with a nice sharp pencil. And just leave a little bit of highlight, and you can even draw a couple like little wing indications or something like that in there if you want. Like that. And then just take the light gray and just kind of blend it a little. Okay, let's do this one. It'll be a little easier to see. Hey, GCB. Oh, hey, Sherry. Thanks, Marilyn. Thanks for always helping out. Marilyn, I came in. She hasn't even been to bed yet. She sleeps. She's like a bat. She's just getting ready to go to bed now. So thanks so much, Marilyn, for all your help. Oh, I want the medium gray first. Sleep well, Marilyn. So we're working on this one right here. I call Marilyn my official YouTube mod. Okay. Now I'm going to go in there with the black. And these bats look really dramatic, look, when you get them all in, and a couple of birds. This bird could almost use a little bit more, maybe a little highlight in there. And if you ever need any more highlighting, just go back in there with a Posca pen or a Sharpie pen, a marker, you know, paint pens. Like, here we go. Either one of these. Here's a white Posca, and this is the 07, 0.7 millimeter. And I think it's the same as the Sharpie paint pen. What size does it say on here? But it looks almost exactly alike. See, look. See? The Posca pen and the Sharpie paint pen. So if you can't get Posca, there's the Sharpie. I can't really tell any difference. So, I mean, it's almost like the same exact barrel and everything. Of course, they could get the same things from China, right? The Poscas are a little bit more expensive, but they have, you know, they have the plastic clip. They, you know, the lids look a little different and more fancy, you know, but I think they both work the same. At least for what I do with the white little highlights, you know. Maybe I'll do one on a couple of a little bit of highlight on a couple of bats for you. All right, so let's go back over here and do this guy. So again, if you're just joining us, Barb's going to stream her on her YouTube channel when Jen and Squiz from Australia get there. In probably about an hour or so, an hour and a half. Hello, Mick Kelly. Thanks for visiting. Hello, Tara. Anybody else I missed? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, because a lot of times people that can't be here during the week live, they like an occasional impromptu Saturday because they can't be here because they're at work. Let's see who's tweeting me. You know, so it's nice to have different people come in on Saturdays when any of us do an impromptu on a Saturday. Okay, now I'm going to take my gray, light gray, and kind of blend that in. Because I don't really want a harsh line there. I just want a little bit of a highlight. Okay, back to the black. Okay, so I'm liking those. Now his fur back here is going to kind of, you know, it's going to almost looks like another bat, which is kind of cool because some of his fur looks like he's almost turning into that, you know, and I think that's supposed to be a branch, but whatever. Again, Kirby's not going to email me and say you did it wrong. Alrighty. So I'll blend that. So what I was saying though about, let's just use the Sharpie in this case. The Sharpie, and it's the white extra fine point paint pen. This is the water based. Now these are oil based because they're acrylic paint. They're, well, I can't say they're oil based, but they're waterproof. I don't know if these are waterproof or not. I don't know. but we're going to use a little bit just so I can show you here how you can take and you can kind of just highlight. Whoops, sorry. You can get a little bit of highlight on the tips of the wing. And if it's too much, just kind of take your finger and kind of feather it out just so it's not. But these are so awesome for your color books. Thanks, GCB. They're so awesome for your color books because you can get those nice little highlights, like in the eye or on highlights on wings or highlights, you know, like here on this bird. Let's put a little. And the other thing that's you can do with these is if you want a light color, you can color it in white like this and then go back over it, like make sure it's dry and go back over that, like see where it's white? I can go back over that with a gray and it'll be gray. But I just kind of want to accent these two birds because the birds are kind of getting lost in the bats. Even though they're supposed to be black, you can do their little claws. You can add a little extra teeth. That's real good for teeth too. Like dragon teeth. Like my dragon I did. I'll show you the dragon in a minute. So you can see, you can get in there with some little highlights. And again, if it's too white where you've highlighted, then wait till it dries and then go back over it with a gray or, well, whatever color and tone it back. So, but you can see the white on there? Like this little bat wing right here, like let's just say I want a little highlight right across his top. See how you can get a lot of nice detail with the white? Told you it was early. So if you can't find a Posca, which I get mine at Jet Pens, these you can get at Michael's. Or I guess Hobby Lobby too. I've seen them at Michael's. I haven't looked for them at Hobby Lobby. Okay. Oh, I was going to show you the dragon here. So this dragon, his teeth, I used the Posca or the Sharpie one, I don't remember now, to get in there and get nice pointy teeth. And so see how we're doing the shading? It's the same shading here, just with these are with greens, as we did with the browns over here. You like the dragon? Yeah, this did take a while, I gotta say. Now, again, because it's a little flashed out, guys, sorry, I wish I could grab the color, but my lamp is right here because I want it bright for the coloring. See how white I am? How pale? And so you can see me coloring well. But anyway, this took a while. It's paint and pencil. So the scales, let's see there. Trying to get the color. It's not gonna, well, almost. All those little scales are done with little dabs of acrylic paint. Okay. Oh, sorry guys. And it's also kind of flashing out a little bit because I put the white over the top. So that's where you got to be brave. If you want to put it in mist or something and you do this at the end of the thing, there we go. You got to be brave because there's no going back from that. Once you can't erase that, in other words. So you want to, you got to be brave to put your mist on there. Okay, so let's go back to our werewolf. And if you just join us, Ange, Barb and Jen are going to stream sometime between 11 and 12 Eastern, I think, on YouTube. They're going to stream on YouTube. So, yeah. So we worked a couple hours on this. And you can see, I'll go down here on this arm for just a couple minutes. Let me get in here with the dark gray. We'll work a little on this arm and then we'll head out. And again, I'm going to try to do more impromptus. At least what I want to do is record. Even if they're not live shows, I'll just be talking to myself. Because there's just not enough time in my slots, in my time slots that, because we all try to be aware of everybody else's times that stream. And there's just not enough time to record to live show everything I'd like to live show. So that's I want to do that in brown. Like I want to do I have 4 sketchy drawings I want to do. Right now I'm going to get in there with the brown. So do you have any questions or anything before we head out? Remember to put that gold. See how I have the gold? Do that at the very end. Not like how I did it because I just wanted to show you guys. Do it after you're completely done coloring because you can't shade back on top of it without just real heavy pressure. And then where's my ochre? Oh, it's on the floor. My goldenrod. Gonna kind of blend this out. Hey, Janet. Just getting ready to leave, Janet, but in case you just joined us, well, I guess you did, if you hadn't heard, Barb and Jen are going to YouTube stream sometime between 11 and 12 Eastern. It's going to, it's got to let her get in the door and, fix her some coffee and, all that. So, we'll be watching Twitter for streams. But I just wanted to tell you that in case you didn't see. Bless you! So, yeah. A little brown, I think, right around the nails. I love doing nails, too, because you can really make those really dramatic. But we haven't decided if I want them red or not. So right now I'm not going to color them at all. Alright, let me get my black for just a couple little dramatic areas. Don't mean to change. No, no. No, I was getting ready to leave anyway, Janet. I said I was going to be here for about 2 hours, and it's 1 hour and 56 minutes. So, yeah. And I did record, so hopefully we'll upload to YouTube in a little bit. Hang out with the hubster a little before he goes to the lake. And then see everybody over with Jen at Barb's. Make sure you tweet Barb. Barb's watching from across the room. Make sure you tweet. Just getting a couple little extra darks in here. Now I don't want to leave these like this. I want to make sure and blend those out. See, because it's very harsh looking. But if you take and blend them out like that, see how that kind of feathers out that black and makes it not so like that. All right, anybody got any questions? Hey, Valerie, we're just getting ready to leave. Yeah, we're getting ready to leave, but try to watch Barb's YouTube stream. And I guess on Carol TMT, her usual time is this morning as well. Maybe she'll postpone it a little bit, or at least make sure you record. Oh wait, I need dark brown. At least make sure you record, Carol. Okay. Anybody else got any questions or anything before we go? And I won't work on it again until I can record. So let me back up and show you how far we've got so far. Okay. There we go. So that's how far we have, because you can see how tiny I've been working. Thanks, Grammy. You can see how tiny you actually are working on those little bats. You know, when you're zoomed in, it looks like, wow, it's so big. But, you know, it's really quite small when you see it in perspective. So, yeah, we got quite a distance on it. I like that one bat there. It almost looks like a tattoo on his shoulder, doesn't it? All right, guys. So I'm going to head out, and y'all have a great day. See you at Barb's. And thanks for stopping in for an impromptu. If I do any impromptus, guys, I do tweet, so that's the best I can do. And then if you follow me here on Ustream and allow email notifications, anytime I go live, you should, 99 point, it depends on your browser sometimes, I think, but you should get an email notification that I've gone live if you follow me here on Ustream. Okay? So, yeah. All right, guys, and we'll see you later. Bye.